So, welcome to corporate Gita, Bhagavad Gita classes. There are prayers on my screen. You can repeat with me. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuramritam Yena Tasmai
Shrimanitramyana Tasmai Shri Guru
Sri
Shri
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Manobhishtam
Guru
Sthapitam Yena Bhutale
Sthapitam
Swayam Rupa
Bhutale
Kada Dadati
Swayam
Swapakam
Dadati Swapakam
Vande Aham Shri Guru
Vande Aham
Yukta
Shri
Padagalam
Guru
Shri
Shri
Guru Vaishnava
Karakalam Shri Galam
Rupam
Vishwatam
Sagrajatam
Shri Rupam
Sagrajatam
Sarvadatam Sarvadatam Tam Tam
Sadvaitam
Sukhim
Savadhutam
Advaitam
Harijan Sri
Savitam
Krishna
Sarvam
Chaitanya
Saritam
Deva
Krishna Chaitanya
Sri
Deva
Radha
Shri
Krishna Padan
Radha Krishna
Sahagana Lalita
Padam
Sri
Sahagana
Vishakhan
Lalita Shri
Vishakha
Vishakalitam
He
He
Krishna Karuna
Krishna
Sindhu
Karuna
Deenabandhu
Sindhu Dina
Jagapate
Bandhu
Gopesha
Jagapati
Gopika Kanta Radha
Gopika
Kanta
Kanta
Namaste
Radha Kanta Namaste
Taptakanchana Gaurangi
Kancana
Radhe
Gauranga
Vrindavaneshwari
Radhe
Shivang
Vrindavaneshwari
Sudhaitam
Shivaya
Pranamacharya
Sutaikam
Vancha
Pranamacharya
Kalpatruvyasya Kripa
Ekam
Sindhubhyeva Cha
Sarvapati
Patitanam Pavanebhyo
Sarvapati
Vaishnavyo Namo
Sarvapati Vaishnava
Krishna
Jai
Chaitanya
Shri
Prabhu
Krishna
Nityananda
Chaitanya
Shri
Prabhu
Advaita
Nityananda
Gadadhar
Shri
Shivasadi
Advaita
Gaura
Shri
Bhaktivinoda
Vasadi Gaura Bhattacharya
Hare Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Ram Hare Hare
So welcome everyone to Corporate Bhagavad Gita. We completed chapter 15. So in this particular 15th chapter, Krishna gives an analogy of an inverted tree, and he says the roots are going up, the leaves are growing down, and that's how he describes this is how the Vedas are. Okay, and the leaves, the roots, the twigs, the fruits, these are all the various things that the Vedas offer. And the living entity, the jiva, he's moving from one branch to another, tasting the various fruits that are offered. When he gets frustrated, he moves upwards towards the root, towards liberation, and from liberation he reaches the spiritual world where the real tree exists, and this tree is simply a reflection. So in a reflection we may not find real pleasure. We may not find real pleasure. Our pleasure over here is dual, is dvaita, is two-sided. At the start it may be very um, sweet, but it ends up being very bitter. Hmm? So the reality is, because it's a reflection, and if we see a fruit in the reflection, we may get happy, oh, there is some fruit. But when we dive inside the reflection and try to get that fruit, we will never get it. So that's why in this world, there is happiness and distress, both are there. But in the spiritual world, there is happiness, distress, but both leads to happiness because it is absolute in nature. Absolute means mod of -1 is also 1, and mod of +1 is also 1. So even the negative emotions and feelings, they end up in positivity only. Okay. So Krishna talks about such fruits that are there. So Krishna talks about such fruits. Now, how do one develops all this fruit? Okay, this is the chapter. There are two types of fruits that are there that the living entity develops when he travels all this Vedas and the Vedic tree, the living, the material nature. One is divine and another is demoniac. Sura and Asuric. Hmm? Last time we did a overview of this chapter. Today we will enter in much detail of this chapter. Um, yeah. So Krishna gives first a list of the divine qualities. So we'll get into it. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Daivi Sampadam. What is it? Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim. So the Devi Sampadam he is going to talk about. That is the qualities of divine, the suras. Meaning the good qualities. Let's put it simple way. The good qualities and the qualities which are degrading, which are bad in nature. So that is the good qualities are called Daivam and the bad qualities are called Asurik. Okay, so let's get into it. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Abhayam Sattva Samsuddhir Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Danam Damascha Yagnascha Swadhyaya Tapa Arjavam Ahimsa Ahimsa Satyam Akrodas Tyaga Shantir Apaushinam Daya Bhuteshu Aluktvam Mardavam Rihi Achapalam Tejah Shama Dhriti Saucham Adroho Nati Manita Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim Abhijatasya Bharatah. Okay, so he gives a very big list here and he says these are transcendental Daivim Sampadam qualities. Now these qualities, okay, let's get back to our analogy, 15th chapter. Good qualities will take us up to the root towards liberation, towards Vaikuntha planets. Bad qualities will make us remain in this tree of the Vedas. Okay, experience, and it may go take us to lower animal species also. So first is the list of good qualities, and it's a big list. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion to all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, freedom from envy and from passion for honor. These transcendent qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. So those who are godly men, they have all these qualities. Now it has a very long purport. We will go through that also. But we will move from this table and the purport, both. Because in the table we will see the main points and then we'll go to the purport. We'll go in detail over that. So first is Abhayam. Okay. So these qualities, they are divided according to Varna and Ashram also. That some of the qualities are very, very important for certain Varna and Ashram. So this Abhayam is a quality that is very much required for a sannyasi. A sannyasi needs to be Abhayam to take to sannyas. It's like that. One who takes to sannyas ashram, he needs to be Abhayam. Abhayam means he is not fearing. He is not fearing anything. Now, this fear is because his understanding is on the spiritual platform. He understands that he is not the body but the soul and is dependent on complete mercy of Sri Krishna, the Paramatma. Therefore, he becomes Abhayam. Okay, so that is understanding of Abhayam. Okay, so the Abhayam means that one is completely dependent on the Supreme Lord's mercy. He is only dependent on Krishna's mercy. Has to be alone without guarantee of support. So he is alone and he doesn't look for support. He is convinced that Paramatma will give all protection to surrendered soul. He is fully surrendered to Paramatma and he will give protection to them. He won't even care for his life and death. Like that it is. Purification of one's existence, Sattva Samsuddhi. This is also very, very important for sannyasi. See, this Abhayam is important for others also. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and same Sattva Suddhim. But when it reaches to the mature state, then one becomes eligible for sannyas. So in the other ashramas, these qualities are there, but they are not up to the mature state. So this sattva sumsuddhi is again for the sannyasis, strictly forbidding following rules and regulations. So some rules and regulations one has to follow, especially forbidden intimate association with women. So sannyasi, he has given up his married life, so he should not associate with women. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself was very strict in association with women, and he punished one of his disciples, Chota Haridas, because he went near a woman like that. So he punished him because the rules and regulations are to be strictly followed. Cultivation of knowledge, Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti. Knowledge is cultivated by everyone. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. Where it is done 100%, it is done 100% in sannyas ashram. He doesn't do anything other than gaining knowledge, meditation, tapasya, like that. So duty of the sannyasi is what? He must cultivate, give transcendental knowledge. First, he should cultivate transcendental knowledge and then give that transcendental knowledge to householders, because householders are busy in their daily activities. So they may not focus on spiritual life so much. So it's the duty of the sannyasi to come and tell them about spiritual life. How he tells them? He is humble. He doesn't do it with force. He is humble. He goes, he begs door to door to awaken Krishna consciousness for others. One more quality we'll run, that is charity, dana. This is very much specific for grihastha, those who are married. Those who are married, they will work in the outside society, they will earn money. And it is their duty to support other varnas and needy people. So they have to give dana. And it should be given in mode of goodness. That means that it should be given to the right person at the right time at the right place. At most 50% of the income one should try to donate. Should start from 0.1%, should go to 50%, as per one's capacity, maturity, strength, like that. Charity in passion and ignorance is a waste of time. Now there is something like, dana can be given in passion and ignorance also, so we will learn what it is. Okay, now we have discussed at least four of here. We will go to the purport. Any questions at this point? Anyone has any question or comment? Any question or comment?
Prabhuji, what is the banyan tree? The banyan tree, like it's a people tree or the bargat tree?
Sorry, what?
This banyan tree, which is written here, the
Oh, banyan tree
reflected
is
purpose.
Bargat.
Yeah,
Bargat.
bargat. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
In the beginning of 15th chapter, the banyan tree of this material world was explained. The extra roots coming out of it were compared to the activities of the living entities. Some auspicious, some inauspicious. So we do in this world, we are having this body. So we do certain things which are auspicious, which are good, and some are inauspicious, which are not good. So this particular chapter focuses on what good qualities we need to make and what are the bad qualities and how we can avoid them. In the ninth chapter also, the devas, the godlies and the asuras, ungodly or demons, are explained. Now according to Vedic rites, activities in the mode of goodness are considered auspicious for progress on the path of liberation. Now why we need to cultivate good qualities? This is the answer. If you are looking for moksha, if you are looking to cut back, to come out of the cycle of birth and death, to go to the Vaikuntha planets, then we have to cultivate good qualities. So our goal is very clear. Some people, they may not have this goal, but they still want to cultivate good qualities. That is also good. But the ultimate goal should be to achieve moksha. And such activities are known as Daivi Prakriti, transcendental by nature. Those who are situated in transcendental nature makes progress on the path of liberation. For those who are acting in mode of passion and ignorance, on the other hand, there is no possibility of liberation. So this particular chapter, right, we discuss this mode of passion and ignorance in 14th chapter. We will just go through certain things here because so these are the three modes. So we have this body, right? We have the gross body made of earth, water, fire, air, ether, flesh, bones, senses, right? And then we have a subtle body, which is subtle in nature. We cannot see it, but it is there, like our mind, intelligence. It's like a software. We know it is working, but it is there. We cannot see it. Hardware we can see, but software we cannot see it. Similarly, these three modes are there in both our physical body as well as in mental body. And these three are fighting with each other: goodness, passion, ignorance. As the name suggests, good, it is good only. The result is good, effort is good, everything is good. Passion, as the name suggests, there is some passion, there is something we want to achieve and all that. And ignorance is when um, it's a it is something like laziness, indolence, sleep kind of thing. Now all these three come in various combinations to in our body. Okay, and throughout our day, throughout our life, there are situations which will influence this, and we will act in certain way which are auspicious, inauspicious, like that. So when we act in sattva, good, the result is also good. In passion, we act for something to achieve, hanker. We are very active here, and because we are hankering something, we have to put some lot of effort, and there is some misery involved. So passion will involve some misery, and in ignorance, it is characterized by sleep, indolence, laziness, and insanity, madness. So here the madness, laziness comes. Okay. Now, if we are looking for liberation, moksha, going back to Godhead, to Vaikuntha planets, we should move from tamas to rajas to sattva. In sattva, in goodness only, we can achieve that goal of liberation. Because here we will be without sinful reactions, we'll be having full knowledge, and we'll be happy, and we won't do any wrong things. So therefore, on the path of spirituality, it is very important to come to this stage, goodness stage. Okay, does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yes, Prabhu.
So mode of passion and ignorance are not good for liberation. Okay, one cannot achieve liberation if they are in mode of passion and ignorance. Either they have to remain in this world as human beings, or they have to descend among the species of animals or even lower life forms. So if one remains in passion and goodness, then next life they may get human body, or they may get even lower forms of life, aquatics, animals, and like that. In this 16th chapter, the Lord explains both the transcendent nature and his attendant qualities, and demonic nature and its qualities. He also explains the advantages and disadvantages of these qualities. Okay, so the 16th chapter, he explains both the qualities, divine, demonic. And then he tells what happens with divine, what happens with demoniac. Okay, now the first thing we read is abhijatasya. The word abhijatasya, in reference to one born of transcendent qualities or godly tendency, is very significant. Okay, so all these qualities, they come with us when we are taking birth, right? I mean, when we take birth, we have those qualities in our body, mental body and physical body. Already we have those qualities. Okay, how do we get that? So we are living many lifetimes. Okay, I'll just show you. We are living many lifetimes, sometimes becoming man, woman, animals. So all the karma that we get in our human form of life, actually not in animal but in human form of life, they influence our next body. Okay, they influence our next body, how our next body will be. Now, how do we get certain parents and all that? So this is what is explained, abhijatasya. So how that birth and everything takes place, why we are put in certain family, certain place, certain country, like that. So um, to beget a child in a godly atmosphere is known in Vedic scripture as garbhadana samskara. So what happens is, depending on the nature, the mental state of the father and mother, they attract a soul with similar mental state, with similar karma, with similar combination of qualities. And that soul with its subtle body enters into the body of the mother and becomes the baby, becomes a child in that family. So the Vedic scripture says you should perform Garbhadana Samskara, which is in mode of goodness, where the parent would purify their consciousness, purify the mental state to beget a child with godly qualities. If a child is having godly qualities, then the child will keep the father mother very happy. But if the child is not having godly qualities, then it will be very troublesome. Like Duryodhan was born with very bad qualities. So it was always very troublesome to his father and mother. His father and mother were always troubled by him. But the Pandavas, they were born with very godly qualities. So Kunti was always happy with them. Like that. So what is this Garbhadan Sanskara? If a parent wants a child in a godly quality, they should follow the 10 principles recommended for social life of human being. In Bhagavad Gita, we have studied also that before sex life, for begetting a good child, is Krishna himself. So Krishna says, Kamosmi, meaning the sexual life is also Krishna. Only if it is dharmic. And how it becomes dharmic? When it is done as a Garbhadana Samskara. The Garbha, which is the womb in the woman, the man passes his demons into that Garbha. And it is done as a Samskara, meaning as offering to Vishnu. So basically it is done with a very good mentality of dharmic mentality. It's like that. And that sexual life is Krishna himself. Sex life is not condemned. It is not condemned. In Vedas, it is not at all condemned. It is said what you do of the sex life is more important than the sex life itself. So sex life, what happens is you beget a child. What kind of child you are begetting is very important. So therefore sex life is not condemned, provided it is used to produce Krishna conscious children. So those who are in Krishna conscious at least should not beget children like cats and dogs. So here the mentality to have a child should be not like a cat and dog, like they just want to have sex life on the street. Okay, no. Human life is for control of mind and senses, and then in a dharmic way have a child. So what is this Garbhadan Sanskar? I will tell you in short. Garbhadan Sanskar is when the wife becomes fertile to have a child. Okay, every month she has few days where she becomes fertile, in sense the egg comes out from the body, and then there's a possibility to have a child through sexual intercourse. So at that period, the husband and wife, they decide they want to have a child, and they will do first the sanskara, which is Garbhadan Sanskara, meaning they will purify their body physically and mentally. Physically by some medicines, by proper food. The Ayurveda has these details. Mentally through dharmic activities like chanting the holy name, reading scriptures, um, and doing some japa, chanting the holy names, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, certain number of rounds. the Acharya of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada, he said to at least chant 50 rounds. 50 rounds. It takes about 6 hours. And then when the mind is now fixed in the service of Krishna, and then when they unite, the husband and wife unite to have a child, then they will definitely attract a child, a soul who is already godly, and such a good son will take birth in their family. This is Garbhadan Sanskar. Do the cats and dogs do that? No. So that's why, acharyas are saying should not beget children like cats and dogs. Hmm? So that should be the advantage of children born by father and mother absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So how to absorb in Krishna consciousness? You have to do Krishna conscious activities before sexual intercourse. That is Garbhadan Sanskar. There are much details to it, but this is the basic principles I told. Any question on this before we go ahead? Because this is a very important topic. For married people, this is a very, very important topic, Garbhadan Sanskar. Any question? Okay. Still not, we have started. Okay. Okay. The social institution known as Varnashrama Dharma. So here the Varna Ashrama both are there. Varna is the material inclination that we have. Ashram is the
Prabhu.
spiritual inclination, the spiritual progress path that is meant for us. Varna is like, people want to become Kshatriyas, they want to fight and all that. So, they will join army and police like that. So these are Kshatriya class. Some are very intellectuals, they will study, so research and all that. So they are in mode of goodness and they will act like Brahmanas. Hmm? Then some are interested only business. So they will be Vaishya's class. And some just want to work for others, which is today's situation. We are working for everyone else. That is Shudra class. Like that, this Varna is there. Ashram is where one goes from Brahmachari to Grahastha to Vanaprastha to Sannyas. Hmm? Um, and then they follow the rules and regulations of that ashrama. So such division Krishna made. Why? Because we have certain psychophysical nature, we have to satisfy it. And at the same time, we have to do spiritual advancement. So both of these are taken care in Varnashram system. It is not meant to divide society by birth. It is not meant to divide the society by birth. No. Such divisions are in terms of education qualification. They are to keep the society in state of peace and prosperity. See, we should engage people according to their ability, skills, their nature, right? Like you may have a team in office, at home, and you will first ask them, okay, what is your interest? What are you good at? And then you will say, okay, do that thing. What you are good at it, what you are very interested. So then he can give very nice output, right? So, so the psychophysical nature is nothing but this Varanashram system. And that will get peace and prosperity both to us because people are properly engaged and they are engaged according to the rules and regulations of the Varna and Ashrama. So they won't digress from it. The qualities mentioned herein are explained as transcendent qualities meant for making a person progress in spiritual understanding so that he can get liberated from the material world. So all the good qualities are meant for what? Moksha. To go back from back to the Vaikuntha planets. In the Varnashram system, the sannyasi. So this is the highest spiritual person in the ashrama, which is a sannyasi. He has renounced everything. He has given up everything. And he has given up everything for what? For 100% spiritual life. Not that he lost in gambling. No. Not that he lost interest in anything. No. He wants to be fully 100% in spiritual life. so he enters sannyas ashram. Okay, so he is the head or the spiritual master of all the social status and order. A Brahmana is considered to be spiritual master of the three sections of the society, namely Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So the Brahmana will help the Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra to act properly in their Varna and ashramas. But a sannyasi is on the top of the institution, is considered to be the spiritual master of the Brahmana also. A sannyasi is greater to the Brahmana. For a sannyasi's first qualification should be fearlessness. Abhayam. So that's the first word where we read. Abhayam, fearlessness. Because a sannyasi has to be alone without any support or guarantee of support. Okay, basically sannyasi has to be alone. He is completely dependent on the mercy of the Lord. If by the mercy of the Lord he gets food, then he will accept it. If he doesn't get food, then he will fast that day. Now such a thing doesn't happen in other ashram. In married life, if you don't get food, are you going to be happy?
No,
Yeah.
no, Prabhu.
Yes. But a sannyasi, if he doesn't get food, he doesn't protest or something. He will fast that day, or he will just drink water. That's it. So that's why he is the spiritual master of the Brahmanas also, and all the other sections of the society, because he is showing highest example of self control and tapasya. And he's not thinking, okay, I have left my family, who will protect me? He's not thinking all that. He should not accept the renounced order of life. If he's thinking that somebody should protect me, then he should not join the renounced order of life. One must be fully convinced that Krishna, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his localized aspect as Paramatma, is always within. He should know that Paramatma is within. I am surrendered to him, and he will provide me everything. If he doesn't provide me, I'm not going to give up. Okay. He's seeing everything, and he always knows that what one instant uh, intends to do. One must have firm conviction that Krishna as Paramatma will take care of the soul surrendered to him. I shall never be alone. He should think that even if I live in the darkest region of the forest, I shall be accompanied by Krishna, by my Paramatma, and he will give me protection. Such a conviction is abhayam, fearlessness. This state of mind is necessary for a person in renounced order of life. So, fearlessness is shown by a sannyasi to the highest degree. It is shown by others also. Brahmachari, Vanaprastha, even a Kshatriya is fearless. But his fearless is different. Kshatriya is fearless because he wants to fight. He will say, I will show you my strength. Right? But a sannyasi's fearlessness is not that he wants to show his strength or something. But his fearlessness comes from the fact that he says that Krishna is protecting me, so I am not going to worry about it. I am just going to practice my spiritual life and distribute it to others. See, that is the fearlessness that we are talking about. Okay. Then he has to purify his existence. So sannyasi he has to purify his existence. He cannot be loose, especially in relationship with women. He has to be strict. There are so many rules and regulations to be followed in the renounced order of life. Most important of all, a sannyasi is strictly forbidden to have any intimate relation with a woman. He is even forbidden to talk with a woman in a secluded place. Alone, he cannot even talk with a woman. So previously, they would have a cloth if he's talking to a woman for some reason. Maybe the woman is mother or sister, or she wants to ask some questions. So there will be a cloth in front of the sannyasi and the woman, and that's how they will talk. When he was at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was an ideal sannyasi, and when he was at Puri, his feminine devotees would not come near to offer their respect. They were advised to bow down from a distant place. This is not a sign of hatred for women as a class, but it is a stricture imposed on the sannyasi not to have close connections with the woman. So they would offer their pranams, their dandavats, from a faraway distance, not near to a sannyasi. So this is the Vedic life. Vedic life is like that. Those who are sannyasis, women cannot go near, they cannot go near women. The women association is allowed where? In Grihastha ashram only. In Vanaprastha is also allowed, but there is no sex life there. In Grihastha, it is very intimate association. Sex life is also there. But brahmachari and sannyasis, they have to be very, very strict. Of the two, the sannyasis have to be super strict. One has to follow the rules and regulations of a particular status of life in order to purify his existence. For a sannyasi, intimate relation with a woman and possession of wealth for sense gratification are strictly forbidden. The ideal sannyasi was Sri Chaitanya himself, and we can learn from his life that he was very strict in regards to women, although he considered to be the most liberal incarnation of Godhead. Liberal means very, very freely he was giving, but when it came to association to women, he was very strict, accepting the most fallen conditions only. He strictly followed the rules and regulation of sannyas order of life in connection with the association with women. One of his personal associates named Chota Haridas was associated with Sri Krishna Chaitanya, all along with the other confidential persons, but somehow or the other Chota Haridas looked lustily on a young woman. He just looked lustfully on a young woman. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could understand, and he was so strict that he at once rejected him from the society of his personal associates. And he said, for a sannyasi or one who is very aspiring to be out of the clutches of material nature and trying to elevate himself to the spiritual nature and go back home back to Godhead, for him looking towards material position with and women for sense gratification, not even enjoying but just looking at them with such a personality, is so condemned that he had better committed suicide before experiencing such illicit desire. So these are the process for purification. At this point, any question or comment?
Prabhu, actually,
Hmm.
so you said like our next life is influenced by karma in only in human life.
Yeah. So, yeah, tell me, what is your question then?
So the same is not applied like if we are in animal life.
Yeah, true.
Then how can we get human life back?
So, the thing is that it's a evolution that is set up in the nature. That the soul will go from aquatics to terrestrial,
Oh,
aquatic
okay,
animals, then to terrestrial animals or plants, then come to human species. Okay. So this will keep happening. Only what he does in the human species, what he does with the human body,
hmm,
decides his future. Either Devata, human body, or animal body. Okay. So it's only in the human form that the karma is taken uh, into consideration.
okay,
And then the next life, let's say, is animal life because he did something really, really bad. So he gets animal life. And there
okay,
the soul again experiences pains and pleasure, and then by good fortune if he comes in contact with the devotee, um,
hmm,
with shastric books, then he understands, okay, what is the goal of life. Okay.
okay,
So
okay,
yeah, only
yeah,
karma in the human form of life is considered. No other karma in other bodies are not considered because okay, second point is Let's say he does something bad in his life, then
Mhm.
next life he will get animal body. So he has to undergo that uh, experience and that body of the animal body. He has to undergo that experience. So therefore, um, um, in the animal body, na, he is just uh, he's just experiencing of all the reactions that were that of his actions. Basically, that's it. He's just experiencing the reactions.
Okay.
Yeah. So there, the karma doesn't come into picture.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, in animal body, they don't have even elevated consciousness, no spiritual consciousness. So how can you take them into justice, right? Or how can you, judge them? You cannot. Let's say in a circus, the lion king's the trainer. Okay, he attacks the trainer, kills him. What do the circus people do? They don't kill this lion. They keep him like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the point is that they know that this animal did it because it is a natural instinct.
Mm.
Same way, that in that particular body, one is simply being forced by the the body that is to offer. Like if he becomes a dog or something, then he's forced to live like a dog.
Mm.
Sometimes in drama we make people, okay, you become cow or something, and the person will character, he will see how the cow behaves and all, and then he will show in the drama. When he wears the costume, he will run here and there just like a cow, forgetting that he is actually human being. Yeah.
Mm. Yes. Yes. Bro.
So that's what happens in animal life, that one is simply burning up his karma.
Yeah. Yeah. I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Bro. Yeah.
Okay. Manushya janma is where the karma is applied.
Okay. Thank you, bro. Yeah.
Okay. 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 What is the sannyasi doing? He's trying to elevate himself to the spiritual nature and go back to godhead. Okay. For him, looking towards material possessions, to richness, to property and all that, and women for sense gratification, not even enjoying them, but just looking at towards them with such a prosperity, is so condemned that he had to better commit suicide before experiencing such illicit desires. So these are the processes for purification. Okay. Next item is Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti. Cultivation of Jnana, cultivation of knowledge. Which knowledge? Spiritual knowledge, nothing to do with material knowledge. Physics, chemistry, maths, economics, Ayurveda, and all that is all material knowledge. But this cultivation of knowledge here is actually spiritual knowledge. The next yoga item is Jnana Yoga Vyasita, is being engaged in the cultivation of knowledge. Sannyasi's life is meant for distributing knowledge to the householders and others who have forgotten their real life or spiritual advancement. A sannyasi is supposed to beg from door to door for his livelihood. But he is not a beggar. Humility is also one of the qualifications of humility is one of the qualifications of the transcendent situated person. Out of sheer humility, the sannyasi goes from door to door. Okay, he goes to door to door as a beggar, but the householder invites him and then asks him question about spirituality. That's how they preach, and that is the duty of a sannyasi. If he is actually advanced and so ordered by his spiritual master, he should preach Krishna consciousness. With logic and understanding, if one is not so advanced, he should not accept the renowned sort of life. But even if he has accepted the renowned sort of life without certification, sufficient knowledge, he should engage himself. Okay. But even if one has accepted renounce or without sufficient knowledge, he should engage himself fully in hearing from bona fide spiritual master to cultivate knowledge. So those who are not in renounced order, they can also cultivate knowledge, and they have to do it under the spiritual master, under the guru. A sannyasi or one in renounced order of life must be situated in fearlessness, samsuddhi, purity, and jnana yoga, knowledge. These are what are his activities. Next, very important, charity. Okay. The next item is charity. We'll do this charity. Like I said, charity is meant for householders. Why? Because they earn livelihood and they should spend some percentage, at most 50. Should start from 0.1%, should go to 50% of their in hand income to propagate Krishna consciousness, that is for service of Sri Krishna, either to propagate or for his temple and festivals. Thus, a householder should give charity to institutions, societies that are engaged in this way. Charity should be given to the right receiver. There are different kinds of charities explained in later on. In the 17th chapter, different kinds of charity explained. One is in mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. Charity in mode of goodness is recommended by the scriptures. Charity in mode of goodness is recommended by the scriptures, but charity in mode of passion and ignorance is not recommended. Why? Because we will read. I'll show you what it will be. Because it's simply waste of time. Charity should be given only to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. The charity in mode of goodness. Okay. So now, what is charity in mode of goodness? We will read. It is in the next chapter. Oh. Huh. Hmm. It's actually in the this particular chapter, 18th chapter. Not here. Okay. 17th chapter. Sorry. Ah, here. In the 17th chapter only it is there. So there are charity in three modes. Mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. Charity given out of duty. It is dutiful, without expectation of return. So when you're giving, you're not thinking I will get something in return. That is real charity. At a proper time, place, and to a worthy person. To a needy person, to a worthy person. That is considered mode of goodness. Now let's say you are, at some railway station, and some poor man comes to you and begs food, or not food, he begs. Now you have 20 rupees with you, okay, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, whatever, and you have some food also, some leftover food, rice or something. What will you try to give that person? That beggar comes, what will you try to give? 10 rupee note, 20 rupee note, or the food?
Food is very better.
Why you want to give the food? Why you can't give him 10 rupees, 20 rupees?
But I think because he has no source for food. With the money, he can, I don't know, he may misuse somewhere else. Take
Yeah,
some, yeah,
with the money he will misuse. He will immediately go to some road and buy alcohol, right?
yeah, yeah.
So
It
that's the
happens
fear we are
to
having. So therefore we have to look for a worthy person, where if we give him anything, food, grain, cloth, he will use it for the right purpose. So whom do you think is a worthy person? The poor persons are needy people, they are not worthy. Okay, they are needy. Worthy means one who will use it for the right purpose, for the benefit of himself and the society. Who are those people?
yeah, those who are thinking good for the society, like yeah.
Who are those in the varnashram system? Who are those?
Sannyasi Prabhu.
So they are like sannyasis, those who are propagating the spiritual knowledge.
Ah,
Then yeah, then even brahmacharis because they don't have any source of income,
yes.
and yeah, like that.
So basically, those are the brahmanas.
Brahmanas, yes.
Yeah, because they are studying scriptures and they are distributing scriptures, right? So to
Yes,
them,
yes.
if we give them charity, we are damn sure that they won't use it for the wrong purpose. When we give charity to a brahmana, he will use it for his yajna purposes only, to feed his cow or for his yajna that he's doing, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, he's not doing it for his own sense gratification or cheating or selfishness. Okay, therefore the brahmana is a worthy person. Okay, so this is the charity that Krishna says in when he speaks in 6.1. This is a charity, but charity performed with the expectation of some return. I will get something out of it.
Mm.
Where such transactions happen, where a person gives some money and he knows that okay, his work will be done. Where such things
Maybe
happen?
political funding.
Yeah, political funding. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
And second thing, now people do some puja and all that for with some expectation in return
Yes,
also.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yes.
21 रुपए का 51 रुपए का, yes, yes.
Yeah. So there is some passion in there. So there will be some misery. If it doesn't happen that
Mm.
way, they'll get angry.
Mm.
And there are some who will do charity in a grudging mood. Grudging mood means a mood which is not favorable, which is uh, which is with anger or something.
Unwanted, like
Reluctantly,
without desire. Yeah,
resentfully, yeah,
reluctantly, correct.
unwilling. He will feel I'm forced.
Unwilling.
So even that kind of charity, right, it will result in misery only.
Mm.
So therefore it is in mode of passion. Now what charity is in mode of ignorance? It is performed at an impure place, impure time, unworthy person, without proper attention and respect. Can you think of such a charity where it is completely unworthy? Yeah? A person comes to you and says, you give me some money. I'm starting a business. And you ask him, oh, what business are you starting? I'm starting a business of alcohol. So that charity is completely is in mode of ignorance, right? Because the result of it is not good. Sometimes some charity, is given for some casinos or gambling places, right? To terrorist
Yeah, yes.
organizations. To terrorist organizations. That charity is also impure.
Okay.
So like that, we discuss charity. Um, okay, so it is 2 p.m. Any question or comment at this point?
So, Prabhuji, in modern context, like these qualities and the way it is given, uh, uh, like are some of them maybe like it is difficult to practice, no? Like,
Okay, okay.
yeah, yeah, and like, and another thing is like this fear of escalation of the war conditions with Pakistan. These are terrorist guys and coming, doing all this kind of thing.
Okay.
And but by nature, like Sanatan people, they are not violent,
No,
right?
no, that's the
So
wrong understanding. That's a wrong
yeah,
understanding.
yeah, that's
Um,
true.
were the Pandavas, who were the Pandavas? Let's start with that.
Kshatriyas.
Who were they?
Uh, Five Pandavas, probably the
Who were
Pandav
they?
sons,
Who were they?
Chatri, yeah,
Kshatriya.
Chatri,
Kshatriyas. Yeah.
yeah.
Kshatriya to be non-violent?
No, Kshatriyas
Yeah,
are for protection, so
yeah.
they should be,
Okay.
yeah.
So because you have asked this question,
Yeah, because people are giving all this kind of. I am seeing Prabhuji in a very very
right? So
like
let's get into
yeah.
the qualities of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra.
Hmm.
Okay. So for a Brahmana, yes, he's peaceful, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, religiousness. These are all the natural qualities of the Brahmana's work. We are going to learn this in 18th chapter, 18.42. Okay. Now,
Hmm.
Kshatriya. Kshatriya is what? Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage, generosity, leadership. These are the natural qualities of work in Kshatriya background. So how can they
So,
be
so, so,
non-violent?
so Prabhuji, just one question here. Like those who are like engineers, let's say these are engineers, so they're fairly educated. You have done graduation and all these kind of things. So they will be classified like in the Varna system also, Varnashrama system also, they have to be classified somewhere. So, I mean, your
See, when we
profession
work
also
for
is
someone, it is actually Shudra.
Shudra, yeah, Shudras.
So Vaishya is farming, cow protection business, and Shudra is
Hmm.
labor and service to others. So
Service
whole
to others,
IT
right.
service industry is actually Shudra work only. It is not a
Hmm.
Brahmanical work, it's Shudra work.
Yeah. So
Okay.
not IT, even conventional engineers. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about those who
conventional,
are
everything.
60 plus
Yes,
years,
yes.
where the IT was not there. But
Yeah, yeah.
all those when they are discussing on the group platform, their thinking comes out as if Like there is still a politics from the Indian leadership. And what is that? It is a complete. I mean, I don't know how the people can think on those lines.
Yeah, I understand what you're asking, but
Yeah.
yeah, see, politics is very complicated. So therefore, there's a Chanakya quote: "Never trust a
Hmm.
politician. Never trust a
But,
politician."
but these are not politicians. These are
Yeah, you know, they are small
the
politicians.
intellectuals. I mean, I will say these are the
Yeah, yeah.
intellectuals.
These may not politicians for us today mean voting and all that, but in
Yeah, yeah,
reality,
yeah,
politician means whoever is playing politics.
yeah, yeah. That
So
is the
these people
problem.
are playing politics at a different level.
So, like, I call them, I mean, even if they are literate, but they are literate fools. I mean, fools are what I'm saying is stupids. Like, they don't know what is it, the day or whether it is night. And still they are commenting. People are commenting as if experts.
Yeah, yeah. See,
So,
that is today's Kaliyuga nature.
yeah.
WhatsApp culture, na. You just have to
What's your culture?
comment. Yeah, you just have
Yeah.
to comment or say something. Okay, good question you have asked.
Yeah, because I will find it very helplessness not to find any reason. I mean, how to interpret such kind of people. At least see, your country is under threat, and still you have the audacity to say that your government is doing this kind of thing. What is that? I mean? And you are not on the religious lines.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
bad to
True,
hear.
true, true. So, ah, so there is something called as austerity of body, speech, and mind. In 17th
Hmm.
chapter, we are going to read this. So, body
Okay.
consists of worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, spiritual masters, superiors like father and mother, cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. Okay. For the speech, there is some austerity to be performed.
Okay, Prabhuji. Maybe in the next love chapters we'll come to understand a little bit more.
No, this is the problem of today's world that they don't know what to speak. So, Bhagavad Gita tells what to speak, how to speak. He says,
Hmm.
austerity of speech is what? When we speak words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedic literature. And
Yeah.
yeah, so you know, today, see, if you don't find austere people, na, they will just speak anything.
Yeah.
So that's what is happening. And then what is the austerity of mind? Is to be satisfied. Simplicity, gravity, self control, purification of one's existence. These are austerity of mind. All these things lead to divine qualities only. So now coming back to your original question, these qualities look like very difficult and all that. Okay.
Yeah, Prabhu, that is.
Well, it comes through practice. One thing.
Hmm.
Second thing is if we train ourselves under a good guru, then all these qualities do come. Like I will give you a mundane example. See, when so many boys join this army training, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Now, some boys say we never got up, before 8 o'clock in the morning, right? But
Yeah, but
they join army and now they are getting up at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
that is
So
very true,
it is
Prabhu.
a matter
That
of
is true.
training, Prabhuji. It is a matter of training. What I'm saying is it is a matter of training. So this
Hmm.
list of qualities, now, uh, this list of qualities, it comes under training. Okay, under a guru, all these qualities are developed. And one more important thing I will say, that's the last thing I'll say for today. In the 13th chapter, there was another set of qualities was given, in which there is this one quality which can bring every other good quality, and that is unalloyed devotion to me. Unalloyed devotion to
Hmm.
me. Bhakti abhi, Mai chananya
Bhaktir
yogena bhaktya
Abhyabhicharani. Yeah.
abhicharani.
Bhaktir Abhyabhicharani.
Yes. So if one is following bhakti yoga slowly, all the other qualities will come in him. And we have always
Mm,
talked about examples of Valmiki Rishi. So many we have talked. Even today, also, so many devotees, they are not perfect. But when they come to Bhakti Yoga and all, by practice, no, they start becoming perfect. All good qualities come.
mhm.
So focus on Bhakti, and other qualities will just appear.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't think it is like impossible thing. It is
Mhm.
possible, and focus on Bhakti. Because we are doing Bhakti, right? Everything else will get rectified. See, that is the power of Bhakti. Now, here in this whole list, this Bhakti is considered the topmost. Okay. Okay. Any
Yeah.
other question or comment before
These
we
are very
close?
important things coming out. I mean, very, very crystal clear qualities and all that. So it is very important
Yes,
chapters.
yes, yes. Any other question or last comment?
Prabhu, charity is the only quality for Grahastha ashram.
It's one of the main qualities. There are other qualities
Okay.
also. See, all of these are mentioned. Na? So, grahastha sacrifice is also there. Self control is also there for all. It is there. See, these qualities are there for all also. Okay, fearlessness, but its maturity will be not so much. Okay,
Mm, okay.
but grahastha's charity will be at the highest point. Sacrifice yagya will be at the highest point. See, Vedic study will be for the brahmacharis because the grahasthas are busy in their daily life. Na? So
Yes, Prabhu.
brahmacharis they
Yeah.
will do maximum Vedic study, and grahasthas will do as much as possible. 1 hour, 2 hour per day, whatever. See, tapasya is for everyone, but the vanaprastha will do more tapasya. The
Mm,
sannyasi will definitely do, but the vanaprastha has to focus on tapasya life. And then all these qualities here, the all is written, right?
for all. Yeah.
All is
Okay.
written. And for
Okay.
Kshatriya, it is tejas, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, like that. And for Shudra is what? Passion for honor, freedom from passion for honor. Must respect everyone, should not become puffed up in prestige and honor.
Mm,
Like
okay.
that. So we
Okay.
have just started. It's a long list.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So any more question or we can close? Okay. So we'll close today.